welcome back to Behind the Board. I'm Diane and I'm here with Brittney Lopez today, talking to you a little bit about a topic that everyone somewhat dreads but could be super exciting, right? Is transition, board transition. So Brittney, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do here for Artemis Lifestyles?
Yes, so I am a director of client relations, and I've been with Artemis for 7 years. Started with customer service and worked my way up, and learned a lot about the ins and outs of the industry. And but yes, I work with our transitions team with bringing on new clients and communities.
And transitions is something that has evolved, right,
Yes.
throughout the years, not just for us here at Artemis, but in the industry as well. So, what would you tell the people talking, or tell me that people talking? All right, get yourself together, Diane. What would you tell me that what is the most important thing about transitions?
The most important thing I would say is communication.
Yeah.
Because not only communication with the boards and the steps, so because they're trusting you to ensure that this process goes smoothly,
Yeah.
but also communication with the residents.
Right.
Because as soon as they receive a letter, change of management, the frustrations arise, the concerns about where to make payments. So we want to make sure that we're as transparent and communicative as possible.
So tell me, I always like to say to boards, prospect boards and existing boards, that transition's hard. Like, let's just come right out with it. It's like any type of change. You're changing software, you're making new relationships, you're developing. What do you think is the hardest part of transitioning to a new management company?
The hardest part is, and I know I just mentioned communication, but just how do residents receive that communication? So some like emails, some like phone calls, some like a letter. So it's just trying to understand how we should communicate with them. And then also, I think understanding the timeline of the transition process, because we have a standard timeline that we've put together and present to our boards, but also just to understand that it's not as cookie cutter as on paper.
Right.
That there are going to be, there might be situations where things are delayed, and we kind of just have to work together as a team to, work through the transition.
So what are the external factors that could slow a transition down?
Not receiving the financials in time from prior management, not closing the banks in time from prior management. Let's talk about on-site transitions and the technology that's involved, and making sure it's getting the software on the on-site Excuse me.
Yeah. No, you just made me think about the time we did transition a community and they took everything, including the toilet paper and all the furniture and the pencils and pens. And
yes, that one was a little rough, but
unexpected.
We learned from that transition, because now we have a checklist to make sure that we have the monitors, the printers, even pencils for our new
Does it
team
include
members.
toilet paper?
Toilet paper, that's essential on site for our new team members.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know. Like, who would have thought? We've transitioned hundreds, you personally, right? More than that. But you do come across those one-offs where you're like, okay, put it on the list for next time. And we know.
Always a learning opportunity with each transition.
So I talk a lot about statute, right? It is changing just in the last few years. It's ever changing. How is new statute or changes to the statute affecting transitions?
More additional steps. So for instance, the condos, like anytime that we bring on a condominium, we have to go to DBPR, we have to link the managing entity and fill out, I would say, probably 500 questions that we may not even know at that time with the DBPR. So it's a lot of additional steps, check and balances, but as long as we have help with prior management to obtain that information and the boards, it's something that we can handle.
And typically speaking, right, prior management is very typically, right, very smooth transaction. Like, I know we try our best to get documents out as quickly as possible. I know most other management companies do the same. But where do you see like the bigger pitfalls in transitioning a community in? Is it self-managed? Is it, you know, different types of management? Is like, what are you seeing as being the biggest pain points?
So the biggest pain point is probably the self-managed, just because they may not know what documents are needed. Their reports are a little bit different. They might not be as structured as, you know, as a management company would create. But all of that can be avoided with communication as well, with the board. Just, you know, letting them know what it is that we're looking for. Like, this is what the reports look like. And then also to, you know, just hopping on a meeting with them and sharing their QuickBooks if they use QuickBooks, and just kind of going through that with them.
So what's been your quickest transition?
Well, the quickest transition probably would have been like a 50-unit condo, not so many documents, really not that many amenities, so it was just kind of quick. Yeah.
Got you. So what would be your longest, like when you hear a community coming on board, you're preparing yourselves like this is going to take some time?
So the longest would definitely be if we are acquiring a master and 3 sub-associations, because they're all 4 separate entities.
Yeah.
They all have different bank accounts, different reporting, so everything, you know, 4 different entities coming at one time is extensive.
Yeah, very true, very true. And it's also managing those expectations, right, of the owners, you know, that it's not going to happen immediate. Like, let's talk beginning balance a little bit. A lot of times the expectation is that they're going to get to copy and keep all of their history from prior management, but the way our technologies work in this industry is that's just not possible. So do you want to talk about what a beginning balance looks like?
So a beginning balance is when we receive documentation from prior management on the current balance for the residents and association bank accounts. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking down. So
it's all right. We're all friends here.
Yeah,
that's good. So.
But yeah, so usually the time frame would be about 30 to 45 days, because we have to make sure that all of the month-end reports are completed and sent to us in order for us to upload those beginning balances.
So from a transitions perspective, what would you tell new boards? Like, what are the questions they should be asking management companies when they're looking to make a change? Like, what's important?
What's important is they need to ask about their documents. I think whether they're stored electronically or if they're stored physically, I would think, in my experience with more established communities, all of their records are stored in like shoe boxes and filing cabinets, and so we want to make sure that prior management digitizes as much, because that's going to make it a lot smoother. But also asking the questions, because we get on what we call transition overview meetings with our boards, and not to discredit any of our board members, but they don't really know the ins and outs about their community. They don't know, you know, how much a key fob is, if it's replaced, or I don't know, like their ARV forms and things like that. So really just understanding that information would help us better manage their association. All
right, craziest transition story. What do you got?
Well, I think you've already talked about it with the on-site taking the pins, but I think That's the craziest.
Quickest turnaround transition, like you got noticed one day and you had to start the next day.
Well, when I took on as a fully transitions manager and with the new role, I believe we received a contract with 1 week's notice
I love
for
it.
500 doors. And
That's because there was so much faith in the team, Brittney. See,
Yeah,
that was it.
so I'm looking at this email and I'm like, really? Okay, it's, in a week away, but we got this. So the team came together. We were able to get all of the preliminary part of the transition done. And I wouldn't say it was seamless,
Right.
but we definitely made it happen.
Most rewarding aspect
Yes.
of running transitions is that getting that positive after it. And if you have a board that truly partners with you, it can get done.
Yes.
Right? It's definitely understanding that this is a process that we can't do alone, right? You need somebody else to help you with it. You need that board to be your good liaison and also work towards that. Because oftentimes the board gets a lot of pressure during transition. They've made a big decision. Maybe not all of the owners agree with the decision, but they're the front face. So they get pressure from the owners who may not understand it. So it's definitely trying to find the common ground there and get them to help us. And that's when I see it be the most successful, right? When it starts to be like an adversarial type of thing from the beginning, that's when we've got to pull everyone back together and say, hey guys, like we're clear about this process up front, right? I mean, we've done thousands, we've done 7, Does the number of doors make a difference in your opinion?
No, the number of doors doesn't make a difference. I mean, it makes a difference in the amount of work, like pulling the roster from property appraisers and auditing to make sure we have the correct owners and information. But what really makes a difference is, like you mentioned, communicating with the boards, understanding that this is a learning process for us about your community, and as transparent as we can be with each other in the process, because that's one thing that I think sets Artemis aside from other management companies. And not I know, because in our experience with transition overview meetings, the boards are thankful that we actually have these meetings.
Right.
We go in there, we say, okay, what is the one goal that you would like for us to achieve as your new management company? What are your pain points that you have with your prior management company? And as long as we set that foundation from the beginning, it truly, changes their experience. And it's eye-opening for them, because they're like, this is what a real management company is supposed to do.
Right.
We're here to lead, we're here to help, and work as a team with our boards.
Yeah, and it really goes to that vision, right? I talked about this last time I was talking with Z, is that every board has a different vision, and if you just assume they're all the same and cookie cutter, you could be delivering the completely wrong vision of that community. So that's pretty cool that you guys do that.
Right.
What else do you think you do that sets your process apart?
I think the meet and greets that we do out in the community, because we really want to deliver that love where you live mission that we, adhere to. And the only way that we can do that is by getting out there and communicating and engaging with our residents, and make them feel like we're not just these robots, behind a computer taking their assessments. Like, we're here to bring the fun. So we work with our awesome Lifestyles team and, engage with those residents.
That's my happy place.
Yes.
Whenever I need a mental reset, I find myself a meet and greet or a board meeting, or that's why most of us are in this industry, right? Where it's a service industry, we're about the people, and sometimes you forget that. So you need to get yourself out there and go hang out with some kids and blow some bubbles and see how they enjoy their communities. I think we're very fortunate to live in Florida. It's a tropical resort-like, environment, and I want to make sure that people understand how beautiful their community is and how we can help kind of deliver that. So that's for me, keeps me going. So.
Yes, those meet and greets poolside with margaritas
No
if allowed, or ice cream.
I was gonna say not too many margaritas.
Well,
maybe you never
maybe
know.
a mocktail.
A mocktail, yeah.
Gotta think about legal aspects of it, but yes.
That's-
And then also our welcome calls that we conduct, we being our customer service team. A lot of great feedback from the residents and the boards about the welcome calls, because our customer service team walks them through on how to register to the website and the portal to make payments, and really just goes off of the information. And a lot of residents that actually live in the community for, I don't know, quite some years, didn't even know some of the information that, that they learned on those phone calls. So it's a win-win.
I'm going to do a cool thing on Friday. I am actually walking a community because it is our steps challenge, so I'm getting my steps in. So don't forget that. But I'm walking with the board, and we're actually hanging door hangers with the Artemis information on it, which is cool. And this is post-transition, but it was that the new residents or the residents coming in don't necessarily know what we have to offer or aren't taking advantage of it. So we're now going out and doing that, which I love, because you get to spend time with the board, you get to listen to what they're looking for as well, but we also help the owners definitely understand how to get the information they need as quickly as possible. So looking forward to it. And I'm getting my steps, so I'm going to win the challenge.
Yes.
Just so you know. You might want to get out there and start walking away.
I might need to.
So, Britt, you've worked with a lot of boards. What advice would you give those boards out there who are looking to switch to a new management company?
The advice that I would give them, oh, goodness. I got to think about that one.
What they're nervous about.
Yeah. Transition always makes them nervous, right? When we do pitches, that's always the slide we get stopped on to talk about, and I think it's really important to get those expectations out there, right? So that would be my advice, is good due diligence. Understand how the company you're looking for is doing their transition, and make sure you ask the questions that we talked about ahead of time to understand. But I think when you work together as a team, it works great. So find a management company that you get along well with and that fits the personality, right?
Yes, and then also to let them know that we're here to be as transparent as possible, and then also with their financials and their monetaries of the association. Like, that's one of the biggest, like, where can I put my reserve money, and just giving them options when they work with our accounting VP of where they can deposit those funds and earn the best interest on those funds as well.
Good point. I'm just thinking about the fun, but the money is a big part of it, right? And
yes,
so,
money.
Yeah,
yes.
making sure that they feel comfortable with that as well.
Right.
So, got to do a plug for Artemis, right? But how could they reach Artemis if they were interested?
Yes, so they can actually go to our website, artemislifestyles.com, and request an RFP that way.
Okay.
They can also call our main line, the 407-705-2190,
Nice.
and our customer service team will get them in contact with our business development team, so that way they can speak with them, get all of the preliminary information, so we can create a proposal for them.
Nice. All right, rapid fire, last thing.
Oh, gosh.
Ready?
Oh, yes.
You've been in this industry how long? Long time, right?
Yeah, 7 years. I mean,
Okay.
I started with not knowing anything, but yes.
Most memorable moment?
Most memorable moment, probably getting on a pitch with a prestige community with you and a couple of other communities, and we were stumbled on a question about the morale of Artemis. I wouldn't say stumbled, but we were rapid fire question about the morale of Artemis, and I remember all of us talking about how passionate we are about working for Artemis, so much that you cried on that meet and greet or on that pitch. But that's really, resonated with me and reminded me, because we always need reminders. It's a stressful job.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't handle stress, don't work for an HOA management company, okay?
True.
But we have to remember that we're here to work as a team. And the boards that we pitch to or that we bring on and we have these meetings with, you know, they see that
Right.
through the passion that we have to do what we do.
Very true. Okay, next question. Why do you do this? Why are you in this industry?
Why am I in this industry? I like a challenge.
I love it.
And like I said, I didn't know anything about what an HOA is because I don't live in one. But I remember before my interview, I was actually, you know, Googling and trying to see so that way I can answer the questions. But I do it because, like I said, I like a challenge and I like to show my son and be a role model for my son that anything that you think might be difficult, you can do as long as you
I love that.
put faith and hard work into it.
Nice.
And I'm
love
about
it.
to cry now.
The two of us together.
Yes,
I don't know.
you
Well,
know,
let's make
but-
each other cry. All right.
Yes.
Anything else? Anything else on your mind you like to chat about?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I know transitions is probably one of the most painstaking departments and challenges here. And I just want to say that as long as the company works as a team, the transition is always going to be better.
Well, we appreciate the department. Certainly appreciate you for sure, and
Thank you.
our team. So thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you.